What's going on, guys? How you doing? In today's video, we are starting. No, we're not starting Clockwork Angels. Somebody commented that, hey, they released 2 singles from Clockwork Angels at, this point, so you might want to check that out. And also, they're different than what's on the album. And that's the part that caught me. I was like, oh, really? Well, then maybe I should do that. And they came out in 2010, 2 years before the album came out. So, and I'm trying to do things as much in chronological order as I can, and it's easier now that we're towards the end because I can just map it out easier, where I wasn't really thinking about that stuff at the beginning. I mean, the albums, for the most part I was, but I wasn't thinking about like all the behind the scenes stuff and all these documentaries and just different things like that, because there's a lot of interviews and other things that I could have dropped in there if I was a bit more precise, just in hindsight, but I think I've done an okay job, all right? Just give me a break. It just gives me more to do when the whole thing's done, basically. Anyways, so here it is. We're doing Caravan today, right? Caravan is the first single from Rush's 19th album, Clockwork Angels. It was released to radio stations and saw digital release on June 1st, 2010, a full 2 years before the album's proper release. On CD via mail order later that month, okay, blah, 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 blah. 3,000 units. B-side is an additional studio track titled BU2B, which stands for the lyric Brought Up to Believe. So we're going to be doing both of those songs because they were released at this point in time. And then we're going to do Time Machine Tour. So it's a Clockwork Angels teaser, kind of like how it was in 2010 for you guys who were actually there for it. Because I'm trying to be chronological. Does anybody appreciate that? God damn, guys. You're so harsh. Okay. So, and also everybody freaking wants, most people, I know that there's people that are like, yo, just please do Clockwork Angels, and I'm done with this already, okay? And those aren't real Rush fans, I get that. But the majority of you want me, literally, I've been getting comments, okay? Because I've been pushing really hard about R40, like, no, I'm not going to do R40. But now I'm like, oh, God. The backlash that I'm getting. And also people are like, you should really be doing Time Machine, you should really be doing Clockwork Angels Tour, and you must do R40. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, there's really not that much left. So I guess what we're gonna do, you're getting the schedule right now. We're doing these 2 singles, right? And then we're gonna do Time Machine Tour. And then we're doing Clockwork Angels, the album. And then we're doing Clockwork Angels Tour. And then we're doing R40. And then we're doing Time Stands Still documentary. And then we get to my favorite part, Envy of None. I've not heard Envy of None. I don't know what they sound like. I know it's like completely different or something. It has that girl Maya Wynn, right, singing or whatever. I'm interested to hear that because hopefully it's different. And hopefully it's different than Victor. I was really looking forward to Victor. I was like, because at that time, I started more getting into Alex. Like really getting into, like really being more into him, because at the beginning when I was listening to Rush, I wasn't as into Alex like at all. It kind of took Permanent Waves actually, because to me Permanent Waves was like an Alex record. I'm like, whoa, this is what I'm talking about now. This guy's really bringing it here. And then from there, it's like, okay, I'm appreciating more. Even on the synthy stuff, I still was like, okay, yeah, Alex. So anyways, this is different than the album version. I'm very interested in that. So we're going to be checking out Rush Caravan. If you're new here, please subscribe, check out my videos, all kinds of videos. If you want to donate, all kinds of things, all kinds of ways I do donation requests, everything in the description. Check it out. Okay, Rush Caravan. Here we go. Let's do it. Bam.
rest and dream of the city. The caravan carries me onward. On my way at last, on my way at last. I can't stop thinking big. 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 On the road made only by fire, going where I want instead of where I should. I peer out at the passing shadows, carried through the night into the city, where a young man has a chance of making good, a chance to break from the past. The caravan
it just kinda
stars winking through the canvas hood.
slips into that.
Caravan thunders onward. On my way at last, on my way at last. I can't stop thinking big. I can't stop thinking big. I can't stop thinking big.
Floaty kind of section with that high guitar part, right?
I can't stop thinking big. I can't stop thinking big. In a world where I feel so small, I can't stop thinking
where they're saying that they brought the progressive back to their sound. It's just a lot of changes and parts and stuff like that. It's an interesting kind of mix of current rush, like where they're at, like especially with like Geddy's flamenco, which is more developed in this era, right? Okay. Okay. That was cool. Interesting. Yeah, a lot more parts. You know, just like kind of instrumental kind of parts, and also not like specifically counting solo stuff, but also you know, transition kind of parts that would make it progressive kind of sounding, as opposed to just cutting from a verse to a chorus to a bridge to, you know, just like cuts with really short transitions, where whether it be like immediate or 4 bars, 8 bars, whatever it is, right? Usually like immediate, right? You're just going into the next section. Here, there's more like, there's different kind of like musical transitions or bridges into the next part. And also that first one that happened was more, it sounded like they were transitioning, right, into this next part, but then it just kind of like flowed into it, like dropped, like they used that next sound. It's like they went into it, but they didn't start the vocals right away or something like that, right? Does that make sense? The other thing that I noticed is that, so when people brought this up to me, I was like, yeah, send me links. Where is this? You know, because I don't want to pick the wrong one, right? Like, because if there's 2 different versions, that's the part that really caught me. It's like, oh, this is different than the studio version. Really? I wonder how. Like, in what way? Kind of like, is it a mix thing? Kind of like what we heard in Snakes and Arrows. Those 2, was it Snakes and, no, it was Vapor Trails, sorry. In Vapor Trails, where there was like the 3 different versions of the one song. Isn't that, of the 2 songs? Isn't that crazy? I mean, 2 different versions of the whole entire album, but there were 3 versions of 2 of the songs. And that was pretty wild. So that's what intrigued me about this. But also, I'm going to say, you know, this video quality, audio quality is bad. Like, this is 360p. And I could tell right away. But I'm not gonna hold that against it. Mostly I'm gonna hold until I hear the actual record, I think. I thought it was fine. I hear how they're bringing back, I guess, kind of elements of progressive, but it didn't really, I wasn't super floored at. I can see how there are fans or people that would be like, oh wow, they're back, or something like that, you know, with this stuff. But it's a mixture of old and new a bit, because there's definitely the newer, and you know what I mean. Like, when I say old, I mean like 80s, right? And when I say new, I mean like current, where they're at, Rush, right? Because you have where Geddy is singing, which is more current, and you have how Geddy, it mostly actually has to do with Geddy, look at that, and how Geddy's playing, which is current, which is like, you can hear his flamenco style all over the place, his chordal stuff, like in a lot of the place, not like overbearing like Vapor Trails was, but you know, like he's clearly utilizing it, and that's just more of a newer Rush sound. That hot, you know, that like floaty section, I don't know if you would call that the chorus or whatever, with the high guitar part, that was fine, that was nice, it was nice. The song was fine, didn't like jump out at me as like, oh my god, this is killer. Didn't really hit me like that. So, but luckily I get to hear it more than once because, you know, we're gonna hear the album, so that's cool. So that was released in 2010. The album came out in 2012, and the other side to this was BU2B, which we're gonna check out next, so be on the lookout for that. Catch you then.